Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Live at 5. Today we are talking about, am I too far gone? Can I still heal? And the reason why this came to me is because the more people I talk to, and the more we talk about the diagnosis, the actual day they got diagnosed, sitting in the neurologist's office, and what they said to them is absolutely astounding. What people, doctors, can say to their patients when they're sitting in their office getting the worst news of their lives and what feels like a death sentence at the time. So, the Live at 5, we do this every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to make sure that you understand that there's no reason for symptoms. There's no reason. We now know, everybody knows, the entire medical industry is now finally on board with the Epstein-Barr virus is the cause to all the symptoms. So let's say you're sitting in the doctor's office and you're just about to get the news of all of the symptoms that you've been dealing with for months, years. You finally went through all the tests, the MRI, the blood work, the spinal tap, and he's sitting there, he or she is sitting there, and he goes, all of your test results came back, and I'm sorry to tell you, but you have a virus. It's a pretty strong virus. It's very smart. It's been in your system for years, obviously, by your symptoms. So you're going to need to kill that virus. And, once you kill it, all your symptoms will be gone. It is a little tricky. You got to make sure you do a couple things differently in your life, and then, your symptoms will go away. Can you imagine what your life would have been like, how different it would have been had that been the conversation at the neurologist's office, rather than, I'm sorry to tell you, Jeanene, but you have multiple sclerosis. There is no cure. We don't know what causes it, but we do know that you are going to end up in a wheelchair. You are going to eventually not be able to take care of your children, and there's nothing that we can do for you. We could try to slow down, the progression of the disease, but really there's really nothing that we can do for you. So here's a list of poisons, and you tell me which one you want to take. Are you fucking kidding me? You're the doctor. And then they give you all of these pamphlets and send you home, and they're like, okay, call me when you've decided. Well, guess what? We now have options. We now have options. We now know that the virus is inside of us. We know how to kill it, and we see evidence all the time, all around us, of people healing from not only multiple sclerosis, but any autoimmune disease. Because guess what? There's no such thing as an autoimmune disease. There's no such thing as your immune system automatically attacking your body for no reason. This has been proven. They understand now that it is just a virus. So what they haven't come out with yet is how to kill the virus. And thank God for the medical medium, he has. So I was diagnosed in 2000 and, I always do this, Christopher's 02, so 04. I was diagnosed in 04. Julie was 2 years old. She's my second one in 08. And that's when I started my healing journey, because I was diagnosed in 04, 5, 6, 7, 8, and by 08, I was paralyzed. Couldn't use my arms or my legs, and my 2-year-old had fallen in front of me, and I couldn't get to her. I was paralyzed, and she was sitting in front of me. My then husband left me alone with her for just a few minutes. He said, I'll be right back. Don't worry about it. I'm like, don't leave me with her. He goes, Jeanene, I'm just going to 7-Eleven. I will be literally 2 minutes. She won't move. And normally she didn't. She was such a good baby. She was just sitting there playing with her toys, but he wasn't even out of the driveway yet. And she had gotten up to show me a toy. She tripped over the area rug and hit her head on the coffee table. And that scream that they do before they catch their breath, where they just open their mouth and no sound comes out, and she can't even catch her breath? That's what I was looking at as I was trying to get to her, and I couldn't get to her. I was trying to wiggle my way off of the couch, and eventually she made her way over to me, and she hugged me with her little arms wrapped around my neck. And I remember, and I will never forget, I could still feel it, the tears on her cheek against my tears on my cheek. Something inside of me snapped. The reason why I'm telling you this is because something inside of you will snap, and you will get to the point where you say, that's it, I'm done. I refuse to be sick anymore. I will find a way. Now, back then there wasn't a way. This is way before the medical medium came out. There was no evidence of people healing, except for this one book that I found called the MS Recovery Diet Book. And I'm like, oh my God. So after I quit my job, I said, this is it. I have to be a mother. I'm either going to be a mother or I'm going to have MS. I can't do both. My husband thought I was crazy. Everyone thought I was crazy. And I said, I'm stopping the medication. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a doctor. I'm not certified in anything. So basically, all of my disclaimers say, don't listen to Jeanene Troutman. She has no idea what she's talking about. And in fact, shut your computer down and run the other way. But I need you to understand that I'm not a doctor. I'm just somebody who healed myself from MS because I was desperate to. And I find most people, when they come to me, they're in that place of desperation. Now, I also find that a lot of people say or ask, am I too far gone? My doctor has told me I'm too far gone. I'm not going to heal. My doctor told me that me not taking my medication, I have caused all of my problems and I'm never going to get out of the wheelchair because people don't. My doctor has told me, literally me, Jeanene, that I'm the stupidest patient in the world. He's not in the world. He said, Jeanene, you are the stupidest patient I've ever had. He actually used those words. I said, but Dr. Ravel, I haven't seen you in 7 years. I was paralyzed the last time you spoke to me over the phone and the room was spinning and you said, I'm sorry, this is just MS. I've lost 100 pounds. I have 0 symptoms. I expected to walk into that office and him go, oh my goodness, Jeanene, we need to put you in the medical journals. This is amazing. And instead he called me stupid. Instead he said I was the stupidest patient he ever had. So that took me down for a while, months. That took me down for months. I was depressed. I started getting symptoms again. My legs were going numb. I had no energy. And it was months. I think it was about 3 months until my girlfriend came over one day and she said, come on, we're going to hot yoga. And I said, no, it's hard. I can't do that. You know, 1, I have MS, and 2, I can't get that hot. She's like, you really need to get over yourself. You were symptom free until that stupid doctor said what he said. He goes, what is he? She goes, what does he know? I said, well, a lot. He knows a lot more than I do. She goes, does he? Isn't he the one who told you that you'll never heal your symptoms because it's impossible? I said, yeah. She's like, and did you heal them? I said, yeah. She's like, now shut the fuck up and get in the car. We're going to hot yoga. And she's scary. So I'm like, okay. And we did. And I was fine. And it was that moment in hot yoga when I'm sweating and I feel so liberated and so, oh my God, I can do this. And I started proving to myself little by little that I can do this, and I kept going and I kept finding answers. And the reason why I do what I do is because I need you to understand. I don't need you to heal. I don't need you to do the protocol. I just really want you to understand that you have choices. Back when I felt like I didn't have any choices, I was stuck. I feel like that's what was manifesting my body. No choices, stuck. And I want you to know that you can choose to heal, you can choose not to heal. Whatever you want to do, that's your journey and your story, and all of it is okay. But I want you to know you have choices. You absolutely can heal. So I want to talk about how the body heals, because if we think about it logically, all of a sudden we start to go, oh yeah, that's true. Or we start to change the patterns in our mind. We are in this post-traumatic state because of what the doctors have told us. The doctors were wrong. The doctors were absolutely wrong. And we're seeing this through all the testimonials on the website in this group. I had a woman reach out to me today. I can't thank her enough. One, because I was in the middle of a temper tantrum. Not me, Jackson. He's one year old. And he just was really hard today. He was just not happy. His off his sleep schedule, everything was messed up. And I'm just sitting there, I'm sipping my coffee, and I'm like, oh God, Jackson, please stop yelling at me. And he's just like, he's screaming. And my phone goes ding, and I'm like, oh, what? And I knew I had to live at 5, and I'm like, I'm in such a horrible place right now. I really hope this changes. So my phone dings. And I get this message from this woman. She said, Jeanene, I never post in the group. I'm not one to join groups. She goes, but I just want you to know that I've been doing the Starve Kill Detox protocol religiously, and my symptoms are fading. I feel so much better, and I'm finally hopeful for the first time in my life. She said, thank you for everything that you do. I know you don't know me, but thank you for everything that you do. You are an angel. And in that moment, I go, oh, wow, that was so nice. In that moment, I didn't care that Jackson was screaming. I'm like, all right, sweetie, what do you need? And I just was infused with all of this energy, and I felt great. I actually got up, took him to Target. We had a great time, came back, and here we are. It is all mindset. It's all mindset. Now, I'm not saying that there's not stuff that you have to do on the physical level. You absolutely do. You have a virus inside of you. You'll have to kill the virus. but it's also mindset. We get stuck in these ways. Now, would I have gotten out of it if she didn't text me? I don't know, maybe, hopefully. Sometimes I get on these live at 5s and I'm like, okay guys, I'm in a shit mood today, but this is what we're doing. But I want you to understand exactly how, so that was just my story, and I just want to say thank you if you're watching this right now. Thank you very much for that message. It really meant a lot to me, and that's why I do what I do, because I needed this. I needed this when I was healing. I needed this to know that, okay, this is possible. I can do this. It took me forever to figure out the information, because everyone is different. Everyone needs a different piece of the puzzle. But what I didn't know is that I had a virus. I knew that my body was attacking something. It did not sit right with me that my body was just wrongly attacking itself. It just, your immune system is going crazy and we don't know why. that was like, that's ridiculous. So I treated my body like I had a virus, a fungus, or a bacteria, and I was doing everything that I came across I would do. And then what we talk about in this group are the valleys. Once you start to heal and you get overwhelmed, your bloodstream gets overwhelmed with the dead virus, it takes you down. You start to get numbness and tingling and tired, and I would always take that as, I'm getting worse, I'm not getting better, I can't do this. And that's why we focus so much in the protocol on the peaks and the valleys, because you have to understand what the valleys feel like. So rather than going, I'm getting worse, my symptoms are getting worse, what am I doing, why am I listening to this chick on Facebook, you can go, oh, this is healing. Yes, it feels very much like an exacerbation, but we have to understand the difference in that when you begin to kill the virus, the dead virus itself is a neurotoxin. It's going to disrupt your nervous system. It's a dermatotoxin. There are all these symptoms that we get from the dead virus. So the difference is, am I getting worse? Are my symptoms getting worse? Or I'm killing the virus. The fucker's dying. That fucker's dying. Yeah, I feel like shit, but guess what? It's dying. I'm on my way. This trench means the peak is coming. And then when that peak comes, I don't want you to be like, oh, okay, great, the peak is here, and now I'm just going to keep healing and healing. Yeah, you're going to keep healing, but guess what? Another trench comes. And then another peak, another valley, another peak. Trench, valley, interchangeable. So understanding that you are healing while you're in the valleys, that's when the healing is actually occurring, because your body's like, okay, let's get this shit out. And then it gets overwhelmed. It's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm so fucking tired, right? You have to understand that that fatigue is not from the active virus. It's from the dead virus, because your body only has not really much of a language. It only has a few things to tell you that it needs help. And one of those things is fatigue. I'm getting to how the body heals. Another one of those things to tell you that your body is tired and it needs help and it can't do it is the heat intolerance. When your body is too hot and it needs to cool down, when we don't know any of this information and the virus is running rampant, your immune system is constantly attacking the virus, because it's keeping you safe. That's its job. It's always been protecting you. So now here you go outside, it's 90 fucking degrees outside, it's humid as hell, and you're like, I can't. I used to have to keep my air conditioning at like 62 degrees. Everyone knew, bring a sweatshirt when you come to my house, because it's freezing, and that's the only way that I can survive. The only way that I don't feel like I'm moving through molasses is if my house was freezing. So what heat intolerance actually is your body going, Jeanene, you want me to fight this virus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, protect you from this virus, and now you want me to cool you off? No, because guess what? You're not going to die from being too hot, but you are going to die from this virus if it takes over your body. So you're going to live with being hot right now, and I'm going to go fight the virus. As the virus begins to die, as your immune system gets a bit of a break and goes, oh, God, I've been fighting this virus for so long. I finally got a break. Thank you. And it gets some rest, and it starts to boost up and get a little bit of energy. Then it goes, oh, you're hot? Let me regulate your temperature. All right, I got a little extra time over here. Let me get you. That's what heat intolerance is. It's just your body telling you, I can't do any more. The only thing that I have to focus on right now is that virus, because it's going to take over all of your organs and all of your systems and eventually ride your nervous system. And then I don't know how much longer I can go. That's your immune system talking to you. So you need to learn how to translate what your body is saying to you. So I want to talk about the signals that leave your brain and go to every part of your body, all of your organs, to get things working, to get things moving. and why it's so important to understand how the body heals so that you can begin to translate what's going on inside of your body, so that when you start feeling symptoms, different things here and there, you don't go, oh my God, I'm getting worse. You go, oh my God, I'm killing the virus. This is awesome. This is, yeah, I feel like shit, but this is awesome. So we're going to get to signals. I'm going to just write this down so I don't forget, because I want to check the comments. We're going to get to signals, and then I'm going to talk about, okay, building the bridge versus taking the detour. All right, but here, guys, thank you so much for joining me and getting on here, and post your comments, post your questions. I will get to them as I take a break. And thank you for coming on here. It's so much nicer talking to people. All right, so let me just scroll up here. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on. Oh, Quinn says, it didn't really faze me when the neurologist told me. I was just like, cool, because I always immediately resort to books and alternative information. Well, that's awesome. That's really awesome, because it was like hearing my death sentence. It was like hearing, I had no idea that there was any alternative out there. I had an aunt who died of MS, and that's all I knew. I knew Annette Funicello from TV, and my aunt, who I didn't know very well. I just heard stories that she died from MS. That's all I knew. So to me, this was, oh my God, I'm going to die. It was the most awful thing in the world. And I went into a deep depression, and I'm trying to prevent that, whether you were diagnosed 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or yesterday. I want you to understand that this is not a death sentence. This is a virus. You got to learn how to kill it, and that's it. And the symptoms go away. Now, it is simple in how you kill the virus, but it's not easy. It's simple because it's lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox smoothie, gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, and a couple of supplements, right? Simple. You're like, okay, great, that's easy. But it's not the same process for everybody. Everyone has to go through it differently, in that when they take breaks and when they start again, because the peaks and valleys, you don't want to go so far into a valley that it takes you weeks or months to come out of it, because that's fucking exhausting. You want to mitigate those valleys so that they're not so low, so that you're going into a peak. Now, your peaks aren't going to be that high, right? But your valleys aren't going to be that low. So you're going to kind of go through it like this. You don't want to go like this, because no one, well, the lives that we lead, the families that we have, the shit that we need to do in our daily lives, no one can live going through really high peaks and really low lows, because coming out of those valleys is exhausting. So that's why we mitigate the peaks and the valleys. So even though it is a simple protocol, the process is different for everybody. And the more information that I can give you, you can learn to translate what your body is telling you, so that you stay calm, you stay connected, and you stay on the protocol, and you keep the faith. You keep the faith, and you understand that your body is healing, because you now know what is going on inside of your body. So, yeah, D, yes, the no more moment is so powerful, right? When you're like, that's it, I'm done, no more. Nothing can stop you. Once you set that intention to heal, nothing can stop you. Well, hello, Jessica. She says, hello, lovely. Love fucking waking up to your energy. I love you. Jessica and I speak very similarly. Or I should say we curse very well together. Oh, Martha, how are you doing? I love that she calls me Sage. Can you make a summary of everything to do? One sheet. Well, it's kind of more than just one sheet, Andrew, but I do have it on the website. I think I only charge like maybe $125 for it. It's on the website. It's under the Path to Healing enrollment. You can just buy the protocol, and that will take you through all of the modules and all of the information in the modules, with video, audio files, text files, and MP3s. So if reading used to be a lot for me. I couldn't do it. So when I was coming up with the protocol and the modules, I wanted to make sure that, yeah, there's pages and pages of information, but you don't have to read them. I will read them to you. So I've recorded myself reading them to you, and that's all included too. So Andrew, if you go to the website, and if it's not on there, let me know, because I've been doing a lot of changes to the website, me and somebody else. And so anyway, if it's not on there, just send me a message. Cynthia, hello. Hi, Jeanene. Thank you. I need this today. The devil on my shoulder is trying to make me doubt. Not going to happen. Cynthia, I'm so glad you said that. In my group last week, there's a new woman, and she was at the same place. She was on that fence of, here's insanity, right? And here's me healing with grace. And when you're on that fence, you need to understand what is going on inside of your body, and that healing never feels good. I always say healing doesn't always feel good. Healing never feels good. Think about it. When you're healing something, that transformation, all of those questions in your head, that fucking sucks, right? It's when we're in those peaks and we get to enjoy what we learned in the valley. That's what feels good. the freaking peak. But when we're in the valley, we have to understand that that is when the healing is taking place. When we're in the peak, we're reaping the benefits of what we just went through. And that's why healing, whether we're talking about physical symptoms, if we're going through emotional healing, think about it. When you're going through really tough emotional trauma and you're dealing with it and you're getting over it, it comes in waves and it takes you down. And then all of a sudden that wave passes and you're like, okay, I can deal with this. I'm good. And then it comes in waves again. And that's how the healing on the physical end of it looks too. It comes in waves. And I call that the peaks and the valleys. So understand what your body is going through. Understand what you've been doing to your body. Let's take the lemon water and the celery juice. If you have been, here's another one, another client story. Never took a break from the celery juice. Always drinking the celery juice. The lemon water in the morning, yeah, always did that too. But then life got busy, things happened, and she stopped with the water during the day. She barely got any water in during the day, and all of a sudden she's feeling really tired. She's feeling really dizzy. She's like, Jeanene, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, all right, let's walk through it. That's when I learned about the slacking in the water during the day. Well, that makes perfect sense because the celery juice kills the virus on contact and your immune system is constantly killing the virus. And if you're not feeding it with the gluten, the dairy, and the eggs, yes, the virus is dying, but when you're killing it so much every day with that celery juice, the dead virus, the corpse of the virus is now overwhelming. It's too much. You're killing it faster than your body can get it out. So what's going to happen? It's in your bloodstream and it goes up to your brain. Your brain is like, I can't get the signals through. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. Jesus Christ, I'm in brain fog. And that's what you're feeling. And then you start getting really tired. So think about how fast you're killing the virus versus how fast you're getting the virus out of your body. That is what's going to cause the fatigue, the tinglies, the brain fog. That's what's going to cause it. The overwhelming amount of dead virus in your blood that's traveling up to your brain, that's overwhelming your nervous system, right? Because the dead virus is a neurotoxin. And so I always go like this because I always get the tingles in my fingers. That's what's going to cause those tingles. So if you're getting symptoms or you're feeling tired, think about what you've been doing. How feverishly have you been killing that virus, and are you getting it out? Because if you're feeling like what I just described, you're going to want to stop the celery juice and up the water. Be like, okay, we're going to relax on killing the virus and we're going to flush it out, flush it out. We're going to stop killing it. We're going to just take the heavy metal detox smoothie because that's the influx that's the influx of antioxidants, right? The superheroes. Remember we talked about superheroes in the workshop? Those are the superheroes that are going to go in and they're going to throw electrons everywhere. They're going to make all the free radical cells healthy cells again. And it's going to boost your immune system. What does boost your immune system mean? It means, picture an army with a whole bunch of guns and they're shooting and they're shooting and they're shooting. And then all of a sudden they're running out of ammo. That one ran out of ammo. That one ran out of ammo. Now you had an army of 1,000, right? And 500 of them don't have ammo. So you come in and you're like, ammo for you and ammo for you. And here you go. And everyone's got their bullets again. And now you've got an army of 1,000 on the attack again. That's the same thing that's going on inside of your body. So when people say, oh, you got to boost your immune system, what the hell does that mean? It means you give them ammo because your immune system gets tired, it needs rest, it needs water, it needs antioxidants, and it needs a shit ton of vitamins. And not only from supplements, from food. It needs the whole package because when you get the vitamins from food, they're in the taxi cab that is going to drive them where they need to go so that your body can absorb and utilize them. Supplements are really hard to know how or if your body is utilizing them because they're not in their taxi cab. The taxi cab is the whole food. That's why it's important to get your vitamins from your food because they're in their taxi cab. So once they get into your body, they're already in the cab and they can just go. Whereas you're taking a supplement, you're taking that one piece and it gets in your body and it goes, shit, where do I go? Which way's left? Which way's right? I need to go north. I need a taxi cab. It's trying to hail a taxi and it can't because you don't have any taxis in your body. It's like the vitamin D and the calcium work together. One's the taxi cab. The calcium is the vitamin D is the going too fast. The vitamin D is the taxi cab for the calcium. It gets it to where it needs to go. So let's go to, well, let me just look at a little bit more of these comments. I just don't want to miss anything important before I kind of railroad over. Or something with the eggs. Do I start from day one again? Nancy, do you mean that you ate eggs and do you need to start from day one again? No, only with the gluten. I have found over 4 years of doing this, that it's the gluten that sets us back. See this calendar right here? All of the clients, they get marked down on the last time they ate gluten. Not dairy, not eggs, the gluten, because the gluten will set you back, and you'll have to start counting till 8, 9, or 10 weeks. That's when you're going to feel that shift. When you stop eating gluten, 8, 9, 10 weeks later is when you feel that shift of, that's when people start walking again. That's when they're making the videos again. It's always in that time frame. And I've learned over the years to start tracking that, because I'm always going, I think the last time she ate gluten was like 2 months ago. And so once we started tracking it, it's always in week 8, 9, and 10 that shift happens. But no, if you accidentally ate eggs, you don't have to, you're not set back. You're still going to heal. Yes, you fed the virus, but not like the way gluten does. Like gluten just takes everyone down, including myself. Even if you don't feel any effects from eating gluten, gluten feeds the virus so much that it now is even the size of a crouton. It's now enough to feed the virus, get it proliferating, duplicating, replicating itself, and then it starts the process all over again, and then you got to start all over again, which, listen, it happens. I've glutenized myself so many times. It happens. But mark down the calendar, when was the last time you ate gluten, and then track your progress, and you will see week 8, 9, and 10, everyone feels the shift. Can you give a big picture idea of why this protocol is essential? I'm new here. Well, hello, Lila, and thank you for being here. A big picture idea of what this protocol is. Okay, what this protocol is, essentially. Okay, what the protocol is very simple. Ready? Lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox smoothie, gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free. That's the entire protocol. It's very simple. What's not simple is the process that we go through. So the difference in this protocol is that we take everything step by step by step. And the reason why we do that is because there's so much change that we have to go through, and our body is going through so much, right, when we're killing the virus, that we have to understand what is happening to our body, and we have to give it the time to get that dead virus out. So that's why we take breaks. So Lila, if you're new here, rather than going, I can't go through everything. It actually would take like 5 or 6 hours to go through everything, which is why I do a workshop every couple of months. I just did one. It's on YouTube. Look up the Minding Your Soul YouTube channel, and you'll scroll down a little bit. Make sure you click on videos, because the first tab that it takes you to, you see like 4 videos, and you're like, what is she talking about? When you go to Minding Your Soul YouTube channel, click on the second tab, which is videos, and then you'll see all of my videos, and you'll see day 1 through 5 of the workshop. Take it slow, watch them in order, and that's what the protocol is. If you want to go to the website and buy the protocol, you can do that too. There's all the videos, texts, MP3s. There's a little something for everybody. I don't charge for anything but the coaching in here. All the information is free. Everything that you need to heal is free. If you want the coaching, that's what I charge for. But I also keep those prices down low too. You don't have to do the $1,500 coaching program. You can do one-on-one, and you don't even have to schedule a bunch of them. Schedule them when you need them. They're like $1 a minute. 45 minutes, $45. 75 minutes, $75. It's very easy. It's all on the website. Lila, welcome. I'm so glad you found the group. And dive right into this group. Start asking questions, but do your homework first. Go watch those videos so you know everything you need to know is in those videos. And I get on here every Wednesday, and I do a little bit more of the protocol, and I get even deeper into some of the concepts. So that's a great segue to what I'm going to talk about today. How the body heals, how the body can heal. Hold on. Your body is always healing. Always. Always. It doesn't matter if you have a paper cut, or if you have the Epstein-Barr virus, or if you have COVID. Everything, your body's always, even if you have cancer, your body is always healing. What happens is there is shit that comes inside of our body that prevents the healing, just like there's shit that comes inside of our head that prevents the healing from happening there too, emotional, mental. This whole protocol is body, mind, and soul. It addresses everything, because when you decide to heal something, you have to address all 3 layers. And even if you decide not to address all 3 layers, when you set the intention to heal, all 3 layers get addressed. So that's why I find when a lot of people start this protocol, shit starts happening in their lives. People start getting weeded out. There's a lot of emotional turmoil because they don't even realize, because it's happening on a subconscious level. Those people aren't good for me. I can't heal with those people around me, and they start removing them from their lives. So we set the intention to heal, And our soul, our body, everything is affected. You can't decide to heal just one thing, the physical level. You heal on all levels. So we're going to talk about how the body is always healing itself. Let's talk about signals. The reason why I couldn't walk and I couldn't use my hands is because the signal, I just have an itch, I'm not actually pointing to anything, hold on. The signal that was leaving my brain, that was, let's say, headed down to my toes, because I never had my toes, like they were just offline all the time. It would get interrupted. What would it get interrupted by? Well, there's a few different things. One of the things that would get interrupted by is the scary word lesion. Lesion is just a scary word for scar. There's scar tissue on our myelin. The myelin is the rubber coating that surrounds our brain and also the nerves. So running down our spinal column is, you have the vertebrae, and then inside there you have all the nerves that are running through here from the brain, from the back of the brain. All the nerves are running through. But the nerves are not exposed to all of that bone, all that vertebrae. They're wrapped in a very dense protein to protect them, and that's your myelin. The myelin is also in your brain to protect your nerves. But myelin isn't just like, I always pictured it like this, like the rubber coating around the wires inside the cord. It's not actually like that. They kind of run, they look like Tic Tacs right next to each other, all these Tic Tacs, and the signal jumps and jumps and jumps, and that's how it gets from point A to point B. If there is a scar on your myelin, scar tissue doesn't conduct electricity. So that signal stops and it goes, all right, where can I go? I need to get around this scar, and so I need to take a detour. So it will take a detour around it. However, your body needs to have the energy to do that. It needs to have the resources. It needs to have a built-up immune system, a very healthy body. It needs to have the resources to do it. Your body will always take. It's not just like plan A. We're going to get from point A to point B, and we have one plan, and if it doesn't work, she's screwed. She's never going to walk again. That's not how your body works. It's not how it was designed. Your body will take plan B, plan C, plan D. It will just keep taking alternates, but it needs the energy to do that. The other thing I want to, a little side note here, did anyone ever get the lightning bolts or jolts in any part of their body? I would always get them from the time I could remember as a probably middle school age kid. I would always get them in my stomach, and they would take me down. It only lasts not even a couple seconds. It would last like a second. I'd be in, like, let's say the grocery store with my mother, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh. It was like I got punched in the gut, but it felt like a lightning rod in my stomach. And it would only last a second. It would take me to my knees. But then after that, everything was fine. And I'm like, I'm exhausted. Like, wow, what the hell was that? I feel like I just got struck by lightning. And I'd mention it to my mother, and she'd be like, wow, that's weird. What else is she going to say? But then I'd mention it to my doctor, and he'd go, yeah, that's really weird. I don't know what that is. So over the years, it kept happening, and, to the point where here I am, a young adult, thinking about having my first child, getting pregnant, and my first worry was, oh my God, what if I get one of those lightning bolts and I drop my child? Like, how am I going to handle that? It wasn't until years later when I started healing and understanding how the body worked that I understand what those feelings were. Wanda, you get them too. I get the lightning shocks too. Did you get them in your stomach? Because I always got them in my stomach, but now I'm hearing people getting them in their backs, in their heads. What those lightning shocks are is, remember I told you when the signal leaves your brain and heads down your nerves to get to your toes, your arms, your organs, whatever, and it hits the scar? That energy has to go. Wanda says it goes from the base of my neck and shoots all the way to my toes, and it hurts. Yeah, that energy has to go somewhere. So what it does is, the signal leaves. Did I say that right? The signal leaves and it hits the scar. The energy, the signal, the electricity has to go somewhere. So it goes whoosh, and it goes out because its path has been interrupted. What your body wants to do is, instead of going to that scar and either stopping or dissipating, it wants to create a detour around the scar. Right? Jump over the scar. If it's in your brain, it's Tic Tacs. If it's in your spinal column, it's one long cord like this in your spinal column. So if it's in your brain, it wants to jump the Tic Tac to avoid the scar. Or if it hits here and it gets interrupted, that's when it's either going to shoot out or shoot in the wrong direction because its path got interrupted. Your body's always going to take a detour if it has the energy and the resources to do it. Think of it this way. Your body can absolutely regenerate myelin. They don't tell you that. Your myelin can absolutely regenerate, just like your liver can regenerate. Not everything can, but your myelin absolutely can regenerate. But it takes a lot of resources from your body, a lot of energy from your body to regenerate that myelin. And your body is always working on a priority list. And so if it has another way to get something done that is going to use up less resources, it's going to do that. So kind of like you're sitting in traffic, there's an accident up ahead, and you go, well, I can take a detour to get home, and I can go that way, or maybe I can just build a bridge. Yes, that's what I'll do. I'll build a bridge over the accident. You're not going to build a bridge. It takes too much time, it takes too much money, and we don't know how to do it. But your body knows how to build a bridge. But it doesn't. It doesn't want to build a bridge. It doesn't want to heal over that myelin because it doesn't have to. It just is going to take a detour. Now, it doesn't have the energy to do any of that if your immune system is constantly fighting that virus. So as you begin to heal and your immune system gets more energy, because it doesn't have to fight the virus so much, it will create the detour around the scar. And that's why people who have healed go, I go to the neurologist and he goes, I don't know what you're doing. I've seen your brain scans and you have lesions everywhere. How are you doing what you're doing? Really? Really? Because anyone who understands neuroscience understands that the brain is always going to take a detour. It's always going to find a way to do what it needs to do. So here's more evidence for you, because this is how I pulled all this together. It wasn't always in books. It was always just being my own guinea pig. So when I first started healing and I started walking in and I started getting feeling back and okay, I can move, I can make it through the day at least until 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon before I was like all systems down, but at least I was getting to the afternoon. I was living. What would happen was I was all excited that I could use my legs and things were working again, but then I would get sick, like I would get the flu, let's say. Or I don't know if it was the flu, it was just really bad, took me down for a week. I was so sick. During that time that I was so sick, I couldn't walk, I couldn't use my legs. They went completely numb. And I'm like, I don't understand. How the fuck? And I thought it was going to be months again before I got my legs back. But this is the first time I got sick after getting my legs back. I had only lost my legs for that 1 week, just for that 1 week. As soon as I started feeling better from whatever virus I had, my legs would come back. And I never understood why. I always feared getting sick so much for that reason. Now I can get sick. Not that I've gotten sick in a few years, but I remember getting sick and I didn't lose my legs. I didn't lose my legs. Now, why did that happen? When your body creates a detour, it is a detour, and it had to work hard to create that new groove to get that signal around the lesion. It's exhausting. Your body's always going to take the path of least resistance, right? So when you're sick and you're tired and your body is now fighting something, let's say you've healed. This is what was going on with me. I had healed. The virus was dying. I was getting better. My legs were working. All of a sudden, I get the flu and I can't walk. What does that mean? The Epstein-Barr virus is back? I didn't know anything about the Epstein-Barr virus then. I didn't understand what it meant until later on. When I was sick, my body would hit the scar, my signal would hit the scar and go, I'm too fucking tired. I can't take that detour. It's too long. I can't do it. And it would stop. And that's why I would lose my legs. In the same place that I lost my legs for those months and months when I had symptoms. So, as I started healing and continuing to heal and healing more and more and more time went on, that detour that my body was taking, it became the primary route. It became the exact same kind of route that the primary route was, only the primary route was no longer in service. My body always took the detour. Now, when I'm sick, my body doesn't see it as a detour. My body sees it as the primary route, which is why my lesions aren't healed. They're still there, but guess what? My body doesn't even see them anymore because it takes the detour around. That is how your body heals. You have to have the energy inside of you, and the energy comes from your immune system working the way it wants to work. It's doing all its work, it's fixing everything, right? Oh, an invader comes in, a virus, bacteria, fungus, it comes in and it's like, all right guys, ready, go to work. Boom, kills it, knocks it out. You're down for a couple of days. What happens with the Epstein-Barr virus, when you learn, if you're new here, who was that? I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Lila. If you're new here, day 2 of the workshop, was it day 2? No, it's day 1 of the workshop. I talked about the 4 stages of the Epstein-Barr virus. You're gonna want to watch that. So Where was I? I was talking about the Epstein-Barr virus. Okay, so with regular viruses like we see every day, like COVID, the flu, it never leaves your bloodstream. That's why you get a blood test and you can see it. It never leaves your bloodstream. Your immune system goes in, it kills it, it's done. With the Epstein-Barr virus, it leaves your bloodstream. It leaves your bloodstream and heads for an organ. Unless the doctors biopsy your organs, they're not going to see the Epstein-Barr live virus. What they're going to see are antibodies. Antibodies are what your immune system leaves behind, right, once it fought an infection. So when you go to the doctor, and that article, I can't remember who posted it, but somebody just posted in Minding Your Soul, that they see that 99 point something percent of MS patients have antibodies for the Epstein-Barr virus. Like, it's finally out there. So your body leaves behind these antibodies in the blood, and that's what they test for. So the virus leaves the bloodstream and heads for an organ. Whatever organ it heads for is going to give you a collection of symptoms that's going to take you to the doctor. That collection of symptoms the doctor has named. Your collection of symptoms was named multiple sclerosis. Yours, mine, named multiple sclerosis. So that's because the virus went for our liver and in our kidneys and in our bladder and here. Now, there's a cofactor. I don't know what a cofactor is. They call it like a best friend. Wherever there is the Epstein-Barr virus, there's the streptococcus bacteria. Streptococcus is a bacteria. So strep throat, that's a bacteria. Wherever there's EBV, Epstein-Barr virus, there's streptococcus. Streptococcus is either going to travel north in your body or south in your body. Rarely does it travel both, but I have seen clients with both symptoms. If it travels north, you always got sore throats. You always got strep throat. You could never get tired as a child without getting sick and without getting a sore throat or strep throat. Sinus infections, everything that is affected here when it travels north. Ear infections. When it travels south, that's when you're going to get the constant UTIs. Like you feel like you've healed one and now another one is coming. You're constantly either getting one or getting over one. That's the streptococcus virus that has traveled south in your body. So all of these symptoms, all of this, all goes away when you kill the virus, because the way you kill the virus is the way you kill the streptococcus bacteria. It's all the same thing. The body is always healing. If you are alive, as long as you're not dead, if you are alive, the body is always healing. It's just a matter of if it has the tools and the resources to do what it needs to do, what it knows how to do. And even if it doesn't have the tools or the resources, it's always trying. And your evidence of that is when you went to the doctor the first time, when you got that diagnosis, and he said, your white blood cell count is off the charts, and we can't find any infection to validate or prove or justify why your white blood cell count is so high. So that's what they call multiple sclerosis. I don't know if you're aware of this, but multiple sclerosis is what's called a differential diagnosis. It's not something that they see. It's the absence of what they're looking for that gives you the diagnosis. So when you get blood work, when you get the spinal tap, and then we'll talk about the MRIs, but the blood work, when you get blood work, right, to confirm the diagnosis of MS, did you know that the blood work has to come back clear? Did you know that the spinal fluid has to come back clear? Those things have to come back clear in order for you to get an MS diagnosis. Doesn't that sound insane? Let me explain it. So when the doctor's looking at you and he goes, okay, I need visual aids. He goes, okay, you got the blood test, we got your results, we got the results of your spinal fluid, and we got the results of your MRI. It is confirmed that you have multiple sclerosis. Me and you are thinking, oh, there must be something in there that says, yes, this is it. This is the proof that she has it. But guess what? The blood test came back clear. There was nothing in the blood to explain your symptoms. The spinal fluid came back clear. There was nothing in the spinal fluid to suggest any evidence of an infection, and you still have these symptoms. And guess what? Brain lesions, brain markings, actually they're just scars, they're markings. Every single person on earth has brain markings. Everyone has brain markings, but not everyone gets an MRI. If they did, they'd all have brain markings. And if you look up, you can Google this from the Mayo Clinic, Google the MS multiple sclerosis definition, diagnosis, you'll read about it. Those markings are not indicative of an MS diagnosis. They're not. It's just very common for people with these symptoms to have brain markings. Well, you know why? Because 90-something% of people have brain markings. Everybody does. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with your body. There is nothing wrong with your immune system. Your body has been fighting a virus since the very first time you noticed symptoms, right? So your body's always been protecting you, and your body's always been trying to heal. It's just that we didn't know that we were feeding the virus. We had no idea that gluten fed the virus, that heavy metals fed the virus. We were never told anything about heavy metals. We're just kind of living on this planet, you know, not understanding that we're absorbing heavy metals through our everyday life, which normally would be fine because we have a liver, we have kidneys, we have internal organs to get the shit out of our body, but no one tells us the foods to eat to make sure that our body is flushing everything out. And even if they did, the medical medium says that even if they did tell us what to eat, our food is so depleted of nutrients that it doesn't contain what it used to 100 years ago to be able to get our organs to do what they absolutely can do. You don't have to fear chemicals. You don't have to fear heavy metals because our body can take care of ourselves. Your body can adapt to whatever environment you're in and take care of you. But we need to understand what the body needs. We didn't really need to understand it 100 years ago, 200 years ago, because everything we ate was so nutrient dense that we took care of ourselves. The body got what it needed. One bowl of spinach, what's that UCLA study? 1956, they took and tested a bowl of spinach. And they tested all the nutrients, all the levels in there. And then they waited till 1996 where they took that same bowl of spinach from the same plot of land that they tested in 1956. And it took, I can't remember the numbers, I think it was something like 30-something, might have even been more, 30-something bowls of spinach in 1996 to equal the nutrients in one bowl of spinach in 1956. That was in 1996 that they did that. Can you imagine what 2023 what those nutrient levels would be? So it's not our fault. Even if we are eating healthy, the foods that we're eating doesn't have enough in it. That's why we have to be very intentional about what we put in our bodies. That's why Medical Medium has put this shit together, the heavy metal detox smoothie. All of these ingredients work together to get the heavy metals out of our body. You don't have to fear coming in contact with them. You just have to give your body a little bit of help, because your body, if you're alive, is always going to be healing. Andrew says, so basically no gluten, no dairy, no eggs. Not basically, absolutely. No gluten, no dairy, no eggs. Why? Why no eggs? Same reason for the no dairy and no gluten, because it feeds the virus. There are certain food sources that the virus can feed on, and that is the gluten, the dairy, and the eggs. So if you're eating those things, you're feeding the virus. So your immune system is constantly going to be fighting the virus because you're feeding the virus. You're keeping it alive in your body. The four things that the Epstein-Barr virus feeds on: gluten, dairy, and eggs, but it also feeds on the heavy metals inside of our body, which is the reason for the heavy metal detox smoothie. So in this protocol, we call it the Starve, Kill, Detox protocol, because we're not starving ourselves. Somebody asked me that. I'm like, no, we don't starve ourselves. Actually, we eat a lot. But you want to eat the foods that are going to starve the virus. So we starve the virus, we kill it with our immune system, and we detox it out of our body. The reason why we start with the lemon water and the celery juice is because, yes, we're going to kill the virus on contact with that celery juice, but it also helps to detox our liver. I kind of stop looking at the comments because then I get sidetracked. It helps to detox our liver, and we want those detox processes working first, so that as we begin to kill the virus, your body is getting it out. Because remember, we're always mitigating the peaks and the valleys of this healing process. So everybody has the opportunity to get rid of their symptoms, and it's not like, oh, this one was special, I can't believe she healed from MS. No, I'm not. There's nothing special about me. I'm Jeanene from New Jersey. I live in Point Pleasant, like 2 kids, divorced, and second marriage. And it's challenging, the second marriage. I was going to say something else. I just totally stopped myself. There's nothing special about me. And if you talk to any of the other people that I've interviewed that have healed themselves, go on the website, go under success stories in the website. Nothing special about these people. We're just everyday people who understood, who got the knowledge that this is a virus. And then we're like, okay, great, it's a virus. How do you kill the virus? And they started to kill the virus. It's not that hard to do. Now, giving up gluten, Yeah, you know what? That's not easy. It's a friggin' transition, and you don't do it in one day. You do it over months. You do it maybe a month. You little by little start understanding what gluten is. You educate yourself. There is a 5 steps to going gluten-free with ease inside the files section of the Minding Your Soul group. So it teaches you what gluten is, where it hides, the different names that it goes by. So if you want to download that, the 5 steps to going gluten-free with ease, I think I called it. Lots of pages for you to read about gluten, understand where it is, and it makes it a little bit easier. I give you some examples of what I eat. I still eat gluten. I still eat gluten. I still eat pizza, ice cream, all the things that, all of my comfort foods, I still have them, and they're really freaking good. And I always make sure in the coaching, I always say, right, the Live at Fives too, like everywhere, I'm always saying, get your comfort foods first. When you decide to transition to a gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free life, get your comfort foods first. I don't want you concentrating on spinach and beans and like all of the, the healthy stuff. I want you concentrating on getting yourself a really good gluten-free and dairy-free pizza, a really good dairy-free ice cream. Whatever your comfort food is, I want you to focus on that first, because going through this process, you run out of motivation. You can't live on motivation. You have to live on what feels good. And food feels really good. We have to enjoy our food. There's no such thing as living the rest of your life deprived. I'm good. If you're thinking to yourself, well, I'll be healed from MS, I could live the rest of my life deprived. No, you can't. That's a miserable existence. You need to be happy and fulfilled in every area of your life, and food is one of those areas that you cannot compromise on. You have to be happy when you eat. And sometimes going into a gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free lifestyle, you might think that you're going to live deprived, you're going to live not enjoying your food. That couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. I am Italian, I am Sicilian. I grew up with events and traditions around food. Food is comfort. So get your comfort foods first. Focus on transitioning them to gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free, and then work on everything else. Then work on getting more vegetables in. This is a process. We talked about, I think this was last week in our coaching group, we actually talked about, I didn't know this, and I still don't know if it's true, but one of my clients said, Jeanene, you have the most success stories of any of the other protocols. And I'm like, that's real. I mean, awesome. That's great. But why? When I looked into all the other protocols, we're all doing the same thing. We're all teaching people how to heal the body with food. Most of them are all gluten-free. Some of them say no fat, which is weird. Some of them say no legumes, which is just even weirder. Like, we need the legumes. We need the fat. We need all of the things. We just don't need the gluten, the dairy, and the eggs. And there are other things from the medical medium, like soy and corn. Those are inflammatory as shit. So you have to listen to your body. If you're eating corn and it's inflaming the shit out of your bowels, like it used to do for me, I used to look like I was 6 months pregnant anytime I ate popcorn. So you didn't eat popcorn. Now that my gut has healed, my body has come back into balance, I can eat popcorn. I don't eat it all the time, but I sure as hell eat popcorn because I can. But I couldn't. There was years where I couldn't. So you have to understand what your body is telling you. And the biggest way to understand it is if you eat something and it bloats the shit out of you, don't eat it anymore, especially if it's not a good for you food. If it's a fruit or a vegetable and it causes bloating, it's not that you're allergic to that. It's not that it's bad for you. What's happening is every single fruit and vegetable has a specific antioxidant that works on specific viruses and bacteria. So whatever it is killing inside of your body, that's what your body is releasing a histamine to. That's what your body is reacting to. That dead virus or bacteria that antioxidant just killed. So even those allergy tests, the allergy tests that come back with, the long list of things that you're allergic to, and some of them are like nightshades or, bok choy, you're not actually allergic to those foods. What's happening is your body is releasing histamine to deal with that dead virus that specific food killed. And that's what the test is measuring, the histamine. It's not the food that's causing that. It's the dead virus that's registering on the test. So Medical Medium talks about that. Just Google Medical Medium food allergies, and there's pages and pages of really good information. I want to get back to the protocols. So I looked into all the other protocols. For years I've been looking at the other protocols, and for the most part, they're saying all the same thing. Don't eat the foods that are not good for you. They never talk about the virus, but it doesn't matter whether they're talking about the Epstein-Barr virus or not. Everything that they're talking about is basically what I'm saying. But I'm saying don't eat them because they feed the virus. But anyway, so why does mine Why does my protocol have the most success stories? Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But 2 clients now came forward and they're like, Jeanene, did you know this? I'm like, no, I don't. And I don't have any way to prove that. So, but thank you. It sounds awesome. But I think what's going on is the reason why we're seeing success with this one is because I explain the process that you have to go through. I don't just hand you a list of things to do and say, here, go do this tomorrow. If you take Terry Walls, for example, you go and you buy her protocol, and it's all of these, have 37,000 cups of vegetables every day. And then when you don't have those 37 cups of vegetables, you feel like a failure. You start shaming yourself, and you're like, oh, well, this is why I'm sick, because I can't eat liver, and I can't eat 37,000 cups of vegetables, and I'm getting all of these symptoms, and I'm obviously getting worse. What you don't understand is, what you need to know, I should say, is the healing process and what it looks like. You don't need to eat 37,000 cups of fruits and vegetables every single day to heal. I know it's like 9, but I like to exaggerate. So what you do need to do is flood your body with the antioxidants. So you fit this protocol into your life. You don't fit your life into this protocol. This protocol is not a source of stress. This protocol is information. Oh, that's why I'm getting symptoms, because I'm feeding the virus. Oh, gluten feeds the virus? All right, maybe I shouldn't eat gluten anymore. Shit, I don't want to feed the virus. I'm definitely not eating gluten anymore. The why for me, if I understand why something is happening and my actions are going to make something either happen or not happen, that's what's going to affect my actions. That's what's going to affect me either eating it or not eating it. If you told me, well, Jeanene, don't eat gluten because it's not good for you. Okay, a lot of things aren't good for me. Well, if you want to heal, don't eat gluten. Okay, really? Well, if you want to heal, don't eat this, don't eat that. And if you go out and you look at all the protocols, there's going to be lists and lists of things that you can't eat. Now that we know that it is a virus, there are a few things that the virus feeds on. What you're going to do is, if this is all new to you, you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to be aware. Your awareness has just been heightened. You're going to be aware of what you're putting in your body. That's it. That's going to be the biggest change. Once you're aware of what you're putting in your body, when you, oh look, I happen to have a spoon right here on my desk. Once you go and you start to, eat something, you're going to look at it and you're going to go, oh, this feeds the virus. This is a spoonful of gluten. I'm literally feeding the virus by this. That's going to turn you off to the food. And then you're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to go to the grocery store and see if I can get a gluten-free version of this. And you automatically make those changes because you want to, and you haven't been in, as opposed to you being told it's not good for you, don't do it, don't do this, don't do that. No, you know what? You have choices. You decide what you want to do. So here is the information. I give you all of the information, and then I walk you through the process of changing your lifestyle so that you enjoy your life while you're healing your body and killing the virus. Because maybe that's just my personality. Maybe I'm just like really selfish. Then I don't want to live deprived the rest of my life. I want to live happy. I want to be in love. I want to love my food. I want to love the people that I'm around. Just like, think about it. Think about food and then think about people. Right? You have a whole bunch of people in your life and they're all over, and some people suck. You don't want them in your life anymore. So you naturally gravitate away from them because your awareness all of a sudden was heightened to, every time I'm around that person, I feel like shit. It's because I don't like that person because our values aren't aligned. Yep, the more I talk to them, every single time I talk to them, I feel like crap. I don't want to be around that person anymore. And you start weeding these people out of your life. It's the same thing with food. All of a sudden you have this education to what feeds the virus, and now that you know the virus is responsible for your symptoms, when you start eating something, you're like, this is a whole big spoonful of gluten. Yep, this is going to feed the virus. Shit, the virus is responsible for all of my symptoms. I don't want to feel like this anymore. And it's easy to make those changes. So the body is always healing. The signal leaves the brain. It gets stuck on a scar. All right, great. It makes the detour around and it keeps going. It needs the energy to be able to create that detour to go around. How do you give it that energy? Well, if it's fighting a virus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's going to be exhausted, and it's not going to have the energy to take the detour, to make a detour, right? So you have to work on killing the virus. And then you have to work on flooding your body with antioxidants, and you don't do it all tomorrow, and you don't do it all by next week, and you don't do it all by next month. The coaching program is 4 months long because we take 4 months to learn it, to do it, to evolve into it. You're going to evolve into this lifestyle. You're not going to wake up tomorrow, and try not to, because it's not all or nothing. It's not black or white. There's a ton of gray areas. You're going to learn, your awareness is going to be raised, and you're going to evolve into this new lifestyle and slowly kill the virus. And if you're one of those people who are going, I don't want to slowly kill the virus, well, there's no other way to do it. You have to give your body time to heal, to get rid of the virus, and your body, no matter how badly you want your body to act quickly, it's not going to. That's just not the way it works. So I learned it the hard way, and which is why I give you this information, because if you can learn just a few things to make this easier for you, well then I've done my job. All right, so okay. Oh, Lila, you're welcome. She says, amazing. Thank you. I'll check all of that out. All right. I know it's a lot. And listen, like I said, don't do it all tomorrow. Just little by little, you're going to learn the information, and you're going to learn exactly what it takes to heal your body, and you're going to do it. It's not hard. It's just a transition. Any transition into anything new, a new job, whatever, it always sucks. But once you've made the transition, it's not hard at all. Okay. So what if you've tested negative for EBV antibodies? Awesome. If you've tested negative for then you don't have then you don't have the Epstein-Barr virus. Then whatever symptoms you have are for a different reason. They're stemming from something else. So Anastasia, am I saying that right? Are you the one who is tested negative for EBV? Because so many people go and they get positive. I've never heard of somebody getting a negative EBV. So let me know if that was you. Oh, Austin says retest. Yeah. Or just go retest. Austin, that was actually really good. Just go retest, because it's in the 90s, like 90-something% of people in the world, not just this country, in the world, have some version of the Epstein-Barr virus, and there's over 65 different strains of it. So just like any virus, the flu, COVID, it's always morphing into new strains. It's always adapting and evolving. So is the Epstein-Barr virus. So there's all these different strains. 95, thank you. Austin says 95% of humans, so anywhere on the planet, have the Epstein-Barr virus. Austin, thank you for that. That's great information. All right, did I check anything? I mean, did I miss anything? No, I think I got everything. All right, so listen, if you're watching the recording and you have questions, you can still put them in the comments. You can still say hi, because I get the notifications and I can still respond or answer your question. This is the Live at 5 for anyone who's new here, because I did notice we had an influx of new members. This Live at 5 p.m. Oh, they probably tested, Anastasia said, they probably tested for other strains. Yeah, maybe they did. So yeah, definitely go retest and ask them, like, are you testing for all the strains? All right, so this is the Live at 5. I do this on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's always a rotation of something having to do with the protocol, or something that pissed me off that week, that somebody was like, no, I know, the doctor told me this. And I'm like, I have to go debunk that. That's not true. Or it's an interview with someone who is healed and tells their story, because we're trying to build evidence in our brains to make it easier for us to go through this process. Because really, honestly, I'm sorry, excuse my language, but this healing process is a mindfuck. It's a complete mindfuck. Everything that needs to heal comes up. When you start healing your body of physical symptoms, everything comes up for healing. It is emotional. It is draining. So if you're the kind of person, you know, who's very much like me, and like everything just comes up all at once and there's no control over it, and you're just like, what the hell did I do? You're healing. That's exactly what it is. So you really need to give yourself grace, and hopefully these videos make it easier for you to give yourself grace, which is why we do the interviews, so that you can see, yeah, everyone talks about the same thing. Everyone talks about going through those valleys and how awful and emotional they are, and how, you know, you don't know if you're getting worse or you're getting better. That's why we do this. And that's why there's a coaching program, so that if you want to heal with everybody, with a whole community of people who are all going through the same thing, we do that. We open up enrollment a couple times a year. You can read about it on mindingyoursoul.com. Or if you're the kind of person who is like, no, I am definitely not getting on Zoom 3 days a week with you for 4 months, Jeanene, that's fine. You can schedule coaching sessions on the website too. You can just be like, listen, hey, I need 45 minutes of your time. Go do that. Free consultations. If I've never spoken to you before and you just want to be like, hey, who are you? What do you know? Then just schedule a free consultation, just so I can hear your story and meet you and offer you some hope, because everything that I do in this group is everything that I would have wanted while I was healing. And if there's anything else that you need just let me know. If there's a topic that's interests you, that you want more information on, if I know anything about it, I'll do a video for you, because all of the content in Minding Your Soul is created just for you to heal, to calm your mind, to make the healing process that much easier, because you don't have to be sick. You don't have to have symptoms. If you want to heal, you can. Let's just say this, you have choices. The choice is yours. If you choose not to do anything, that's fine too, but at least now you know you have a choice. This is just a virus. If you want to heal, you absolutely can. With the rate at which you heal is completely up to you. And whatever speed or lack of speed you do it at, that's fine too. You don't fit your life into the protocol. You fit the protocol into your life. And it can be easy with a little bit of guidance. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you for your questions. And thank you so much. When you see questions in Minding Your Soul, I love the way people just come to the rush, their aid, and they're like, hey, listen, that happened to me too. Don't worry, it's normal. The community that we have inside Minding Your Soul is just, it's a community of healing. Everyone is so, I've never had to block it. No, that's not true. I did block like one person. She was crazy. Long story. But I mean, of all I think there's like 1,900 people in the group now. I've never had to block anyone. Everyone is so kind and so helpful. And I really want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this group what it is, because I get a lot of feedback, a lot of comments about, wow, this group is very different from most groups. There are no victims in here. Everyone's here to help everybody, and everybody offers so much grace. Don't worry, I've been through that before. Give yourself some leeway and understand what that process that you're going through is, and it is going to be hard, and allow yourself to go through it, and understand that you do have the power to do it. You can do hard things, even though it feels like we've been through a lifetime of hard things and we just don't have any more inside of us. We do. And it doesn't have to be that hard with a little bit of guidance. So thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. And I will see you next Wednesday if I don't see you before. Have a great night. Bye.